Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL Cougars show. I'm Chris.
I'm Kieran.
And today we are just talking about captaincy ahead of Gameweek 12. I'll bring up the hot topics on the screen. The hot topics in this case being, Jamie Vardy and Salah. Do you want to start us off by probably the most obvious captaincy choice of the season, Salah away against Fulham?
Yeah, obviously a great fixture. We saw what KDB did last week against Fulham. Salah looks like he's gonna haul for all considering purpose. He's been very consistent this season, and I like it. So XG of 2.34, XA of 0.86 the last 4 weeks, 9 shots, 3 big chances, 6 key passes, 1 big chance created, 3 goals, 2 assists. So been doing well. Finally another haul for him, the third of his season, but he has been consistent returning, as I've said. 8, 9, 6 and 14 in the last 4 weeks, and that's a 0 from COVID, obviously. So 5 returns in 4 weeks shows his upward trajectory.
Definitely.
31.3% is again pretty low considering his reputation, and I expect his ownership to possibly inflate to close to a 40% maybe ish. Like for this Fulham game, it just seems on paper like it's so standout. And the possible triple captaincy potential as well.
He's had a price rise as well this week as well. He's gone up.
He did. Yeah.
So people are on it.
So yeah, Liverpool through in the Champions League as well, so I expect him to rest that. He's probably going to play the kids in Champions League and sharp for this Fulham game, just like KDB was last week, and in which he hauled, as I said. So, Fulham defence has been better lately. They only conceded 2 to Man City, but that was pretty flattering. They conceded a 3.19 XGC versus City, and they conceded 6 big chances and 16 shots. So, I'm expecting Paul to thrive. I want them to be a bit more clinical, and I expect Salah to be a goal plus an assist. 2 returns minimum is my hope for this. Seems about right.
That would be very nice. I think it's difficult to look past Salah this game week, but we'll try and present some alternate options. Probably starting with Vardy. I had a difficult decision to decide who was sort of like the next best pick after Salah, and I think Vardy could be it. So last 4 games he's had 4 big chances, XG of 2.9 with 2 goals, so underperforming a bit there, which is rare for Vardy. He's had 3 key passes, 1 big chance, which is pretty well, or pretty high up against all forwards. He's now returned in 5 of the last 6 games, so he's been quite consistent as well. But no mega scores, 6.6 points per game average. And the last 2 scores at home have been just 4 and 5, so not really captaincy-like returns, but he has been returning. Brighton's away form has been quite poor this season, so they've averaged 1.88 expected goals conceded on average, and that's in the last 2 away games. That's not great. And overall for the season, they've only kept 1 clean sheet on the road, and that against Newcastle back in game week 2. So they're looking weak at the back, and Vardy is looking okay going forward. Maybe not so much at home, but I do expect a return from him. Probably not as high as Salah, though.
Yeah, I'm worried not owning him this week. I think he does well.
Yeah, I hope so. Right, on to your, almost a captaincy differential this week.
Maybe not in actual ownership, but captaincy differential for sure. Bamford, 6.1 million, 36% owned. 4th highest scoring striker in the game, as I've mentioned in the main show. And he's from a newly promoted side, which is obviously impressive. 4 points behind Vardy across the season, and that's doing it without penalties. Great. 7, 2, 2, 8 in the last 4 weeks. Pretty consistent. 2 hauls in the season of 14 and 17. Fantastic fixture against West Ham. So both teams like to attack. Both teams can get clean sheets, but it's not looking likely here. The XG of 2.57, which is 4 for all strikers, an XA of 0.5, 16 shots from him, which is the first of all strikers, which is great. 5 big chances, 2nd overall, 2 key passes, 0 big chances created. So the stats are good for goal threat. Not so much from the assist potential, but I think there's probably a goal, maybe an assist in there for him this week. I think there's probably at least 1 return from him. So if you're going to bet against Salah or you don't own him or someone like that, then Bamford as a differential, not too bad. West Ham's defence has slid down the XGC of rankings down to a 7.09 over the last 4 weeks, and they've conceded 53 shots, which is mid-table, but Leeds have taken 65 shots, which is the 2nd highest in the same amount of time. So the signs for Bamford look promising.
Yeah, no, I agree. And It's an interesting one with Bamford's ownership as well. Only owned by 3%, sort of fewer people than Kane is. Kane on 39, Bamford on 36. It's quite surprising how close those two are.
Either.
Yeah, I know. It's quite big numbers, both higher than Salah as well. Maybe they won't be by the time the game week starts, but yeah, there's some well-owned players. All right, finally on the captaincy shout, Kane. I mentioned him a minute ago. It was hard for me to decide between he and Vardy, but I kind of think he's going to be overlooked purely based on fixture, but I don't think it's such a bad one for him and Tottenham. So Palace conceded 6 goals in the last 4 home games this season. Kane has been clinical recently, so in the last 4 he's only had 7 shots in the box, but scored 2 goals, so expected points is just 16 to his actual of 27, so he's been way overperforming, but he's been clinical. In each of his last 4 away games he's scored 3 out of 4 times, so 16, 5, 9 and 1, 2, which was against Chelsea. All of which I think you'd be more than happy with. A double 5, a double 9, a double 16. Yeah, you'd take that. So I think he's got a good fixture, and he's coming into this one on the back of some good form. And I think Spurs are flying at the moment, and they're going to want to keep their momentum going, especially ahead of that Liverpool game midweek. Would say with a little bit of caution that it wouldn't surprise me if Mourinho does something to like rest some of his players or maybe make some early substitutions to keep them fit, especially if they've got their game 1 already. So yeah,
I think they're through in the Europa League, so they should be able to get rest there. So
yeah, but just those 2 games in 2 days, or 2 games in sort of 4 days, and the same sort of in the same message, Salah as well. It'd be interesting to see how Klopp manages his players, especially because they've got Champions League, Fulham, and then Spurs in midweek. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for both those teams. But anyway, hope that gives you all some perspective and some insight for some captaincy options this week. Any more to add on Kane? Or
I just want to say, I think Mane, if you don't have Salah, Mane is a good option if you've got Mane instead, because the fixture is Fulham. Yeah. So I don't have any stats on it, but Mane could be a great option as well.
Nah, like it. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for our captain picks for Game Week 12. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below, or want us to try and provide a little bit of advice, by all means, we'll try our very best to help. All right, until next time, it's goodbye from me. Bye-bye.